Chinglish is about a Midwestern American businessman who goes to the Chinese provincial capital of Guiyang to try to land a contract for his family firm, and discovers how much he doesn't understand. In Chinglish, there are a lot of different sort of misunderstandings that take place and mistranslations. And on sort of the micro level, there are simple phrases that get mistranslated by interpreters.
We're a small family firm.
他家是小公司，没什么名气的。
Started by my great-grandfather in 1925.
公司是他祖先在20世纪初建立的。
I started writing this play because I've been going to China a fair amount over the last 5 or 6 years. I've been trying to go about once or twice a year. And I began to think it would be interesting to write a play about what it means to do business in China today that also deals with language.
芝加哥有他出力的招牌，但他个人来自不出名的小村庄。
我的老家也是不出名的小村庄啊。
Minister Tsai was also...
Language is actually, in a way, a character in the play. And so it became very important to me and to the designers to conceptually figure out how to make the translation, which is necessary for the audience to follow the story, but also part of the plot of the play is about translation and being understood.
Cleveland isn't exactly a small farm, though I suppose it was once at one time.
他说那边的土地早就荒芜了。
Ohio signage has managed to acquire a reputation for quality work.
My character's name is Daniel Kavanaugh, and I'm a businessman from Cleveland, Ohio, who's come to China for the very first time. He has a very solid reason. I mean, he actually has a good business plan. He's trying to make a pitch to the Minister of Culture there that he's their guy to provide a classy signage.
The minister has visited Chicago.
I play Qian, which is the first translator that Daniel has the honor. She's not a very good translator, and I think that's part of the humor of this play, actually, is all the misinterpretations and mistranslations of everything.
在芝加哥的时候，我最喜欢吃牛排。
He enjoys to consume your American beef cows.
David has set up situations in which people are desperate to be understood, know that they're being misunderstood, and attempting again and again to be understood. And it happens in a business sense, it happens in a romantic sense, it happens with the most kind of trivial and important moments in the play where characters really grapple with and desperately try to understand each other. And often the crux of the comedy is not only that they're being understood, but the way in which they're being misunderstood, which the audience can see and understand, and the characters in the play don't.
Smith and Willings.
一家牛排店，他有时候住在那儿。
不，他不住在那里，那是芝加哥最好的牛排店，他想请您去尝尝啊。
谢谢。
So my character is called Peter. He's an Australian guy who's been in China for about 20 years. He plays Daniel's consultant and includes basically interpreting, translating kind of culturally and linguistically.
Thank you. And here's why we're worth the money.
他会解释他为什么花钱会那么大手大脚。
是想说明他的专长将如何帮助贵阳啊。
I've struggled with this issue of language my whole life. I mean, even as a kid, I had, relatives who didn't speak English particularly well. So I've always had to navigate what it means to try to make your point with people whose first language is not the same as yours. And so in that sense, I have a fair amount of experience on the subject.
My character is part of the sort of new generation of Chinese, the sort of younger generation that's coming up, that's all about market reform and let's move forward, sort of embracing capitalism and sort of forward thinking, like let's move the country forward so we can catch up and eventually surpass.
有关浦东大剧院的事情，我们早知道了。
She is very familiar with the Shanghai disaster.
那些小错误已经纠正过来了。
Fix the signs now.
外国人想笑话我们的错误很容易。
We in the audience know everything that everybody is saying on stage. Because when the characters speak Mandarin, we use projections so that the audience can understand it in English. So we know everything that everybody's saying, but not everybody on stage knows what each other's saying because the characters, some of them basically speak Mandarin, some of them only speak English.
副局长嘛，有时候有一点那个感情用事。
Madam, she is a woman. She is emotional.
但是他这种爽快的美国风格，我欣赏啊。
He enjoys your rudeness.
In a way, it's hard to describe because I feel like this kind of play doesn't exist. It's about culture, it's a romance, it's funny. It is so funny, and I think it provides people a theatrical experience that they have never had before.
我觉得挺顺利的，你认为呢？
我认为我们该找一个新的口译员。
I think it's a play that people will really enjoy, and they're going to walk away feeling like they understand something different about China that they haven't before, that they've traveled to someplace new, that they understand something about communication, about its failings, how hard communication is. But mostly I think they're going to feel like they laughed a lot.